Hello, everyone, and welcome to Small Business Power Hour Marketing and Growth Tips for Small Business Owners. Today's webinar is about marketing tactics specifically through social media. So, we're going to compare multiple social media channels, and I'm going to kind of tell you this from my perspective anyway, and hopefully that will help you figure out which approach you want to take in terms of using social media for marketing. Today's content will spend about 5 minutes just kind of talking about Small Business Power Hour. What's is this all about? We'll spend 10 minutes doing a quick overview of social media platforms for marketing, and then we're going to deep dive into Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn for this episode. And then in a future episode, we'll talk about other ones. And then we'll leave the last 5 minutes for Q&A. Ideally, this will take only about an hour and sometimes even less. That would actually be best, but we'll see how the time flows if we can stick to the schedule. So the Small Business Power Hour is a webinar series. We're building the website out. It's sbpowerhour.com. We currently don't have a lot of content there, but as I start gathering content about marketing and small business growth tips, I will go ahead and post them there. So check that website regularly. And we also started a Facebook group. Just search for Small Business Power Hour and you should be able to find it. Now, the webinar series is live every third Wednesday of each month at 4 p.m. Eastern. As I mentioned earlier, it could be anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour. You will register once and then you'll have access to all the episodes. And this will be tips and tricks specifically for small business owners in the areas of strategy, marketing, and growth. About myself, about the host, I'm Hector Garcia. I'm a CPA and a business consultant, and I'm starting to share some of my experiences with consulting with small businesses and things that I've learned throughout my work with working with other small businesses and even myself, my own experiences doing marketing for my own firm or for myself as a practitioner. So, first of all, there's another recording that we did last month called Marketing Strategy versus Marketing Tactics. You may want to see that recording to kind of get the overview if you happen to have missed the previous webinar. Check that one out. It's already in YouTube. Just search for Small Business Power Hour. You should be able to find it. I'll pull it up real quick. So it's in my channel, and I'll put the link up there so you have it. So this is it right here. So let me go ahead and copy the link over and put it on the slides. That was actually what I was supposed to do from the get-go, but I was putting the slides on the airplane and I didn't have internet, so I wasn't able to get that link. So there's the link there, and I'll also paste it on the chat box, so you should be able to see it on the chat box. Anyway, that was the episode that we did last month, and that has an overview of tactics versus marketing strategy, and you should look at that before this episode. So I mean, I'm not discouraging you to log out if you missed that one, but I'm telling you, I think it'll make a lot of sense because this is sort of part two of that episode. Anyway, let me do a quick synopsis of my take on social media platforms for marketing. So, what does Facebook allow you to do? Hyper targeted ads, because most Facebook users are pretty truthful about what they like, what they don't like, what they're into. You can use hyper targeted ads to choose how we're gonna, or what type of people we want to target in our marketing. You can also create user or fan groups where people discuss subject matters that are common thread to everyone. And then obviously, if you happen to be an expert in that group, you build authority, and that it's marketing, for you, because people are going to want to hire you as an expert in whatever subject matter that is. With Facebook, you can also direct message specific people. So if you don't have their email address, but you have had some sort of interaction with them, maybe through some comments or some discussions back and forth, you can direct message them and possibly make a business contact. Now, you definitely want to create a business Facebook business page and share your content through there. And you can also experiment with Facebook Live once you have a lot of followers with Facebook Live, basically telling people on the spot from your phone, wherever you are, what you feel and what you want to share. And that builds a more loyal, uh, uh, more loyal audience. Now, LinkedIn, you can also direct message specific people. Now, LinkedIn in the last couple of years have been hit with a lot of spam. So a lot of LinkedIn users are a little bit immune to direct messages. A lot of times they completely ignore the direct messages. So you have to be careful about the efficiency of trying to market by direct messaging people there. The thing about I like about LinkedIn is you can post articles, and there's some really nice article analytics you can view. You can see who's viewing your article. Obviously, if they're commenting on it, you can engage people into specific conversations, and then gauge the interest for the topic that you're writing about. You can also create user and discussion groups, just like you can do with Facebook. I just feel that the Facebook ones are a little bit more personal. They also tend to be smaller, the Facebook groups, because we found that a lot of spammers get in LinkedIn groups trying to mass market stuff. And I'm never going to encourage you to do that because that's a waste of time. It's not effective. But the most important part about LinkedIn is building your profile, getting recommendations, and building skills, getting people to attest to those skills. And I'll show you a demo of that when I go into my profile. And talent recruiting. What's nice about LinkedIn is that you know who's working for what, and if you want to recruit some people from a competitor, this would be a good place to do it. Now, YouTube, that's a whole nother ballgame. Now, I believe that YouTube is technically not social media. However, the comment section itself becomes social media because people engage into conversations around the particular video that you created, and that's how you can connect with people as well. I have many times responded to YouTube videos, and then people end up saying, hey, how do I contact you directly? And me giving them my phone number or email through YouTube, and then end up connecting with me that way. So that's actually a really important piece of YouTube. Now, the idea behind YouTube is that you can create videos and build authority around a subject matter. You want to be known as the subject matter expert. But the most important thing is that YouTube videos are searchable through Google. So a lot of times when people are trying to find information about how to do something or whatever, they could end up in a YouTube video through a Google search where they weren't even searching for videos in the first place. You can also use Google Hangouts, which are basically ways to create sort of like conference calls with video, and they can be published in YouTube live, or they can be published after the fact. So that's also a really nice thing about it. And then YouTube has YouTube Live, just like Facebook has Facebook Live, and you can do both with a computer or with a phone, whatever. But the nice thing about YouTube is you can monetize with ads. So I'll show you how that works as well. Not really, the idea behind marketing is not monetizing through ads, is to get new customers to buy your products, but it is sort of a nice side income to have once you have monetized videos. Now, we are going to deep dive into Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube today in this session, but I also want to talk about the other ones that I'm not going to cover in this section, they're going to be covered on the next episode of Small Business Power Hour, which is going to be in July. We're actually going to skip June altogether because I'm taking a break in June because I'm going to be in a major conference, and I'll be taking a vacation with my kids. But in July, we'll have sort of part two or part three of this series where we'll talk about Twitter, Google AdWords, website blogging, and Instagram. Anyway, Twitter, it's all about 140 characters. You know, how much impact can you cause in 140 characters? So the point of Twitter is to build followers through thought leadership, because you're sharing your own content or other people's content, but it is insightful and is a type of things that people want to see. So if you create a type of content that will create followers around your Twitter account, that's a really good thing to do. And the other nice thing about Twitter is you can tag other companies and you can tag other businesses to get attention. Like, for example, recently someone had a problem with some product and they tagged the company's Twitter account saying help, and within hours they emailed, they direct message them back to Twitter and say how can we help you, and they helped them solve the problem that they otherwise didn't solve when she called the 800 number to complain about it. So the nice thing about social media is because it's out there and it's public, people are also very careful about when you're tagging them, whether it's a company and another person, on anything, so people tend to attend to it pretty quickly. Now, Google AdWords is technically not social media, not at all, but it is a place where people start searching, and you have the capacity to pay Google per click to drive some traffic to your website, typically using certain keywords. So, for example, if you are a massage therapist in, let's say, in the Astoria, Queens, New York, and people tend to search Astoria massage or Astoria Queens massage or Astoria Queens muscle pain, something like that. If you start figuring out that people that want your services, that's what they search, then you want to get a Google AdWords account and pay to be sort of on the top hits when people search those keywords. Now that becomes really, really expensive. So we'll discuss that on the next webinar about the return on investment on that. And your website blog, I find it to be the most important social media aspect out there, because you don't think of your website as social media, but the minute you start creating content and open it up for commenting, it becomes a social media platform because people are commenting, asking questions, and possibly talking to each other through your blog under a particular article or post that you create. But the other really nice thing about website blog is that it's highly searchable and is indexed through the Google organic search. So I'll do some examples of that on that episode. So I'll show you my blog itself and how that works. And then Instagram, something I actually don't use, but it is something that has grown quite a bit, which to me is pretty much the same thing as Twitter, but it's based on a picture. So instead of it being about thought leadership, technically it's more about the one picture that they put, although technically the picture itself and the comments from the author, it is kind of some sort of thought leadership. And you do build followers and fans around you or your brand. And I've seen a lot of people build really nice businesses around Instagram, but they have to be really active, and they have to pander to their crowd, and they have to be able to provide what their crowd wants. So it's really important to identify who your crowd wants, who you want it to be your followers, and that little bit goes back into the theory behind marketing tactics and marketing strategy. So you should watch that first episode on that. In summary, of this introduction. LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Google search, Twitter, and Instagram, they all have the capacity for you to have paid or sponsored content, which means you can do search based on the target person or on the keywords or whatever, and it could allow you to help you grow your follower or fan base by driving traffic, but it's really expensive. Typically you pay per click or per 1,000 impressions, and the return investment is not as high as when you have quote unquote word of mouth. Now everybody knows, or most people know, word of mouth is the way that most people um, get their referrals, and it's the most powerful way to get referrals. Now, social media is technically a digital version of word of mouth. It's actually a lot more intricate than word of mouth, but it is a digital version of that. And the idea is that you can drive traffic and grow a follower or fan base organically, that you don't have to pay, for a sponsor ad. You don't have to force yourself into people's feeds or into people's search in order for people to come to you. When you do organic social media marketing, people find you instead of you forcing yourself into their interaction with their system. So that's the idea, is that you can build social media to grow that organically. So the secret behind doing that, it's high quality content, articles, pictures, videos, things that people want to read, things that people want to see, things that people search for, not that you force it into them. And that has the most long tail payoff. So I think it costs a lot more money to spend 2-3 hours creating a video than just paying $100, $200 for an ad to drive traffic to your website. But in the long run, that video is watched forever. It's shared. There's going to be a much deeper long tail payoff when you create high quality content. Now, as I mentioned, paid search and postings are very temporary in nature. They give you immediate results, but sometimes the ROI is not there. So let's start with Facebook, okay? So that was the introduction. Let's start with Facebook. We'll talk about your personal profile, business page. We'll talk about posting some content into your business page, Facebook Live, and Facebook groups. So let me click out of here and go into Facebook. So I'm just logged into Facebook. I think most of you probably already have Facebook of some sort, and this is just my regular feed. I have all sorts of personal things. Now notice as I scroll down, I'm scrolling down my feed, I see this thing here called sponsored. So this company here called Jackback Workflow wanted to target people. Now they are selling to an accountant. I happen to be an accountant. How do they know that I'm an accountant? Well, maybe they looked at my profile. Maybe they looked at my likes. Maybe they went through my other contacts. So, for example, you see up here, these two people are in my Facebook, so let's call it friends, and because they hit like on that, their search engine, you're allowed to tell people, you're allowed to advertise through uh, using your target person contact group. And that's how they did it. So that's how they targeted me, and this ad comes in here. The problem with this is that I find this to be annoying, and typically I just scroll down and ignore it. But as I go down even further and I keep scrolling down, I'm going to keep going. Another ad comes up. There you go, sponsored. And notice that again, two people, actually up to four people from my, let's call it friends, they liked the ad, and that's how it shows up again. So that's why is it so important to understand how social media platforms work, which is you typically market not just to a person, but you may want to market to those person's friends that could have similar interests, or they could be in similar situations, similar careers, whatever. So you will see that that's every time you see that sponsored thing in there, and I keep scrolling down, at some point I'm going to see another ad. There you go. There's another one. So it looks like pretty much every 3 or 4 postings, an ad comes up. Okay. Now notice the common thread here. This ad is video based. This one here, not so much. This is a static image. And if I scroll up a little bit more, this one's also video based, right? So notice that is kind of the thing is that most people are doing video-based ads. Let's scroll a little bit more. Let's see if another video-based ad pops up. No, that's not that one. Maybe this one. There you go. So Intuit is sponsoring this one. So they're targeting me probably because I live in the Miami area. In this case, look, I don't have any of my friends that have liked this ad either, but they probably used location-based marketing because they have an event in Miami here, and they probably want me to show up to that event. So that's kind of like how Facebook marketing works. That's how it will show up. Now, up here, I'm going to click on my name, it says Hector, and that's how I get to my profile. What you want to make sure that you do, and this is something you may have to give it some thought, is if you are going to connect with customers or future customers through Facebook, you may have to make that difficult choice on how much personal stuff do I put here, how much business stuff do I put here, do I mix it? I made the decision to mix it. Notice that in my profile page is me and my 4 kids, but then on my background cover photo, it's a picture of a classroom. Now, that doesn't necessarily say or spell that's my business, but if you know me, you know that's what I do. I do training for a living. So having a picture of my classroom, it's a good way to mix both things. But the really important thing to know is that then when I go into my personal Facebook stuff, that's all family pictures, people tagging me, stuff like that. But I chose to connect with other people through Facebook, and they are tagging me. They're tagging my personal profile on events or pictures or whatever. So the point is you may want to figure out how to find that balance between personal and business if you choose to use your personal profile for that. Now, the antidote for your personal profile is going to be using a group. No, sorry, not a group, a business page. So, for example, I'm going to log in through my business page. So, I created a page. So, basically, you click on this drop down menu here and click on create page. I don't want to go through the basics of creating a page, but I want to show you a page that's already up and running. So this is my page, and this is the business page of my business. So you can tag a business page, but anytime I want to share something that's not really that personal, that is really heavily business, I will post it through here. So in my business page, I get to choose what I want to show. So in this case, I wanted to show an about page in which I put the address of my business. I put I guess my Twitter handle, a phone number, a map, and how to get to my business, whatever. I put some descriptions of the services that we do, the name of the business, the times that the business is open, assuming that there is a walk-in element to it. Look, price range, I put $3 signs, and that really, this has really to do with like restaurants, really, when we think about dollar signs, but this could have some effect in the psychology of people when they see a whole bunch of dollar signs, that this could be an expensive place. So I mean, it's up to you whether you want to interpret that as a good thing or a bad thing to put a number of dollar signs in your business page there. Anyway, so I got my email address there, or my main email address, the website of my business, and just make sure that you have your profile completely set up. Make sure you hit like, and you like your own business page, so at the very least it shows that you like your own business. Always have a video section. So I got this video section here in which I'm going to hit pause here. I got this one video, which was a professionally produced video by Intuit, actually, and I took advantage and I put it on my Facebook page because it's actually the nicest video that I have. So I put it as my splash video. Now, if I scroll down, there's a whole bunch of videos. So basically, every video I make about not every, but when I remember, pretty much about QuickBooks, accounting, Excel, whatever, I post it into my video library simply by clicking on Add Video and uploading the video that I already have them saved in my computer after I record them. Okay, so you want to post them up there, and you also want to see if they got views. Like, for example, this one in particular has 1,900 views. So I'm going to click on this one. This one's called Advanced Training Courses. Okay, give me 1 second because the thing just, it kept playing, so I wanted to pause it for a second. Okay, so you got 1,900 views. So if I click on that link there, it would actually tell me, show me how many views there are. It would tell me how many people reacted to it, whether they hit like or wow or whatever it is that they did. And then you got comments. See, you got this person here saying, "Hey, I need a refresher on desktop," blah blah blah. So this is a person that I have an opportunity to connect with. So I would basically direct message this person and say, uh, you know, would love to help you with, whoops, okay, whatever I want to put. We'd love to help you with your business. Here is my phone number. And then hit send. Now, this may be a person that wants to do business with me, or maybe they don't. Maybe I don't want to give my phone number out there. Maybe I want to give an email. Maybe I want to just drive them into some sort of purchase page. I mean, depending on the industry that you're in, right? I mean, different industries sell things in different ways. Now, this particular video has 1,900 views. Let me go back to videos because I boosted it. So I actually advertised it, exactly the same example I was showing you earlier. I actually took that video and I did some marketing with it. That's why it's kind of abnormal. You see all these videos have 75 views, 43 views, 43 views. So it looks like about 40 or 50 views. It's about the average, and that probably has to do with the people that that hit like or the people that are following my business page. I definitely need to work more on building an audience base in my Facebook page, my business page, because I'm not getting that many organic views. So that's something I need to work on. That's an opportunity. Now, you always want to have a services section or something like that, assuming that you want to tell people what is it that you do and how much you charge. All that stuff could be valuable because people, a lot of times, they want to understand what is it that they're buying before they call you. That way, they don't waste their time trying to get something that's too expensive. It's nice to have a photo section. Like, for example, look, I posted a picture of me training a class, or a picture, like a couple pictures of me training a class or traveling or whatever. So that's always good to have in there. And then you could also run events. So you can create an event and then invite all of your followers to join the event. So the event could be something, maybe a live meeting, live presentation, maybe a webinar like the one you're attending now. So you can also do that as well. And there's also the review section. If people review your page, like for example, I actively ask my colleagues or people that I helped in the past to review my page and give me ratings, because that's important. People want to know that you have social proof, or at least that your business itself has social proof that other people out there are doing business with you, or they're working with you in some capacity, and you want them to be giving you recommendations and reviews, and do it right there on the review section. And always ask to get 5 stars. Like when you call someone and say, hey, review me, don't say, hey, give me a review, here's the link. Say, hey, can you give me 5 stars and tell the world why I gave you a 5-star level service? Like, you have to ask for that way. Otherwise, people may just put 4 stars or whatever. You gotta be very careful about that. So that's it. So I'm gonna go into the post section, and this is where I'm gonna share. This is where I'm gonna share things to the people. And by the way, the only way to get people to follow your page is for you to share interesting things. If you don't share interesting things, then there's not really much of a point for you to share. So, for example, I'm gonna take this video I posted in YouTube, and I'm gonna go ahead and share it, and I'm gonna put here, see last month's episode of Small Business Power Hour discussed marketing tactics versus strategy, whatever it is, right? So, and then I'm going to paste the link in there and then click on publish. And then there it is. I'm going to click on publish. And then that's what makes people like your Facebook page or follow you or share it, because what you really want is for people to share. Let me see, where is my posting? Let me click on post again. What you really want is for people to share that posting. You want people to hit like, you want people to share it. That's what you want. Okay. Now you see this little button here that says boost post. So for example, let's say I wanted to uh, get likes to this particular posting, or drive more followers to my page. I'm going to click on boost post, and this is actually advertising, so I definitely have to pay for this. So you just kind of follow the and this tells you whether there's a lot of text or whatever, and this may not be a good screenshot to use, but I'll still follow the procedure here, and then somebody from Facebook is going to review it to make sure that this ad is not confusing, because technically this ad is confusing. So then you want to figure out what you want to call this button. Should it be learn more? Should it be shop now? Whatever. I think learn more in this case may be the best option. Then it tells you what's your audience. So how do you want to target other folks? So I can put people who liked your page. Now that is kind of pointless, because people who like my page already are going to get this update through their feed, because they already like my page. So it wouldn't make sense to market this to people that like my page. Or if my goal was to then sell them something, then maybe I want to market to people that like my page. So depending on what you're trying to do, are you trying to market within your followers, or you're trying to gain new followers. Now, here it says people you choose through targeting. This is actually one of the most interesting ones, so I'll show you how that works. So once I click on edit on this one, people you choose to targeting, I click on edit, I can pick, look, I want to market to men for whatever reason, right? And I want them to be between 45 and maybe 56 years old. And I don't want to do it all over the United States. I only want to do it in Miami. Okay. So I got men between 45 and 56 years old in Miami. And then, what kind of demographic interests or whatever. So I'm going to do small business owners. Okay. And I'll go ahead and click on save. So I basically hyper targeted this ad to small business owners between men within that date range. Now, please, I'm being recorded and I'm live. I'm not saying that you should market to men or women. I'm just doing this as an example. Okay. So don't shoot the messenger there. Let me just make sure that everything is okay here. So I'm marketing to, let me get rid of United States and let me do Miami again, because sometimes, there you go. So Miami, 25 miles, small business owners. Uh, you can also do exclude people. This is actually kind of interesting. So I can exclude people that maybe, let me go through demographics. I can I can exclude people. Oops, this just keeps clicking out. That are in college, for example. All right, so that could be pretty interesting. Maybe I don't want to deal with college students. So it's just a pretty cool example. And then you can also narrow the audience down by also having a second a trait. So, for example, in the entire universe of QuickBooks, 38 million people tag themselves as small business owners, but maybe someone that also likes tennis. I don't know. I mean, I'm really hyper targeting here, but somebody that really that likes tennis. So in the 179 million in the world that like tennis in this particular case. So maybe I am a tennis player. Maybe I can connect better with small business owner tennis players, or maybe I sell something that has to do with tennis, whatever, right? So this is a really cool thing about hyper targeting. What I meant about hyper targeting through Facebook. And then I click on boost and it submits it, and it does have to be approved most of the times. And it's going to ask me, what's your budget for it? So this is where I get to, choose what I want to do. So for example, I want to do less budget. I want to do more budget. I can make all these changes here. I should already have like a PayPal account or some sort of billing account attached to it. And then at that point, I would just let it be, or I can review how it is, or I can cancel or delete this ad if I don't want to deal with it. So I'm going to go ahead and click on close, and there you go. So now my ad is boosted and it's limited to $30. So right now it's completely limited to $30. So once that $30 exhausts, the people within my target, they won't see that video anymore. So I mean, it's just a matter of time and waiting to see how people react to it. Okay. Now I'm going to come here to manage ads. So when in the manage ads section, and they recently changed the screen, so this screen is a little bit kind of all over the place here. And my ads should be here. I mean, it's probably under pending or review or whatever. So these are all the ads that I've had in the past, and we have all the different results from it. So, for example, this ad that I ran, I spent $188 and I reached to 22,000 people, and it resulted to 698 clicks. So when I click on view charts, I can see the full performance of this particular ad. My cost per results means cost per click. In Facebook, you actually pay per impression, not per click, but it does calculate that for you. But what's really nice about once you run an ad is to be able to analyze the results. Let's take a look at what groups of people were interested in watching the ad. So if you notice that, about the majority of people that actually clicked on my ad, which is this blue here, were men between 45, and 55, 54. So now I'm not saying that that you should only target to these people, but this is an interesting indication of what group tends to click more on your ads than others. Now, so if you're gonna then hyper target again, you may want to focus on the people that click on your ads, or the ones that hit like, or the ones that give you positive results. I could actually spend all day here talking about Facebook, but trying to cover more than one channel here. So I'm going to move on to LinkedIn. Now, let me take a quick pause so I can breathe and drink some water. And the first thing I'd like to know is, and put it on the questions. What questions do you have? What comments do you have? I would love to know what you think so far about what you've seen. And I don't see anybody posting questions there. What I will do is I will put in a polling question. Maybe we can interact through the polling question. So, how much money do you spend now as a percentage of sales? So that's an important metric to have in marketing yourself or your business. Somebody's asking, how can we ask clients to review us on Facebook and other platforms? Well, you mean other than sending them an email or calling them? I would say yes. I would say absolutely. Just email them, or you can direct message through them. All you have to do is give them the link of your page, put it on the website, and say, hey, can you please review it? You shouldn't have to do anything more than that. Somebody else is saying, has Facebook helped you increase revenue for your business? So Facebook has helped me get more leads and get more clients. So I would say, if that's revenue, yes, that's the answer is yes. But I can't put a direct dollar amount saying, yes, through Facebook, I made $10,000 more or something like that. That I cannot really tell you much about. But yes, it has helped me get leads. It's helped me get clients. Absolutely. Somebody says, is it better to use desktop versus iPhone to create ad? I see more choices in desktop. Yes, if you try to use an iPad or an iPhone to boost it, you only get a couple of sort of things you can edit. And if you're logged in through Facebook through the desktop page, you have a lot more areas that you can narrow and change kind of the scope of who you're marketing to. Somebody else says, we're planning to scale up our marketing efforts and target specific kinds of clients. Yeah, that makes total sense. Again, Facebook doesn't let you. It's hard to know, quote unquote, the kind of client, because Facebook, it's more about personal connection. So nobody ever puts in Facebook, the industry of the business that they own, or how much money they make or they don't make, or what their sales are, or whether they have employees or not. Typically they don't expose that type of information. Typically Facebook, it's limited to more personal stuff. So I think Facebook is better to make personal connections rather than maybe corporate connections. Anyway, let me go ahead and close the poll. I share the results. 85% of you spend no more than 1% of the revenue, or $500 a month. I'm going to tell you something, big mistake. Big mistake. You need to be spending $2,000 to $3,000 a month in marketing. I mean, it just has to be. Unless you're already making tons of money, then then I'm not going to tell you how much you should be spending in marketing. But I haven't stopped spending $2,000 to $3,000 in marketing for the past 5 years. You have to continually. You have to keep spending money in marketing, and depending in any capacity. Sometimes it's not just money. Sometimes it's effort. But there is a money element to that. Now let's go ahead and open up LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is similar to Facebook. It's more of a like sort of a professional connections social media page, but LinkedIn has not really gotten that sophisticated in terms of their boost marketing type of option. As a matter of fact, I don't use LinkedIn marketing at all. I actually use LinkedIn just to have a profile and to post articles. So let me show you. Let me start with profile. So I'm going to click on my icon there and click on view profile. there's a really few important components of a profile. Number one, you want to have that nice splash, high quality background picture. I recommend that. It does look professional. It looks commanding. You want your profile picture to be doesn't have to be professionally taken, but to be nice, clear, and bright. You want to have your titles, the company you work for, and you want to have a quick, small snippet of your profile. Like you shouldn't have this Bible that says what you do. I mean, if people want to see what you do, it shouldn't be more than maybe 100, 150 words. So it's like mine is pretty brief in there. As a matter of fact, I could probably take away all these specialties here and just stick with my regular profile. Now, the other really important thing that LinkedIn recommends is your profile should be an all-star profile. For it to become an all-star profile, you have to have every single thing filled out. The location, your picture, your summary, your skills, your education, your position, all that stuff needs to be filled in there. And of course, LinkedIn uses that information to then market just the same way that Facebook uses that information. But they're going to boost, they themselves are going to boost your profile the higher the quality of the information that's there. So it's sort of win-win. You get more information in there, more ways that people can reach you, and at the same time, LinkedIn gets more information to be able to market to you. So go figure. Now, this is really neat. Who's viewed your profile? This gives you this is basically like a 30-day log of who's view, actually 90-day log of who's viewed your profile. And what you want to see is you want progressively to have growth. Like you want more and more people to be viewing your profile because that's an important piece of exposure. Now, what's also really cool is if they work for a particular company, you can see how many from a particular company or particular business are reaching out to you. Now, this viewers of your profile, they only show you sort of like the top five or the top three in this case, and then you actually have to pay membership if you want to see in detail every single person that has viewed your profile. I don't pay for it, so I really don't know whether that could be useful or not, so I just use the regular free LinkedIn page. Let me scroll down a little bit more. Your articles is really, really important because, see, notice I have 4,000 followers. And when you follow someone in LinkedIn, you get updated here on the notification section. You get updated when anyone that you follow writes an article. So anytime that someone that I follow writes an article, let me see if anyone has written an article here. Now, most of these people just have a status change, but see, no one that I follow has written an article. But typically, when someone that you follow writes an article, it shows up right there in the notification page, and or is it here under my network? They move these things around all the time. No, this is just the people that I have. So what you want to do is, whoops, clicked on the wrong thing. Let me go back into my profile. So what you want to do is you want to write articles, engaging articles that people, your potential clients will read, or maybe other folks that would refer you business would read. But what's really cool about writing an article is that you get the total number of reads, something you don't get with Facebook. So if someone goes into something you wrote in Facebook, you can only tell if they commented or if they hit like, but you don't get to see whether or not they saw or they clicked on your article. So, for example, when I click on this article that I wrote about 2 months ago, that says don't be late, IRS late filing, late payment penalties explained. And I basically just cross-linked a YouTube video that I have in there, and then I did transcribe. That's a really important part. I transcribed some of the content for the video because you want people want text, and I did a whole transcription, a transcript of the video in here, and I was doing that as an experiment to see what kind of results I get. So I'm going to click here on this is like the results section, the analytics section. So I'll click on that and I'm going to get full-blown analytics on that specific article that I wrote. So for example, it's got 45 views, 3 likes. It tells you more or less, the type of people that are reading the article. whether they're first connections or second connections. That's really kind of important. So I mean, this is just interesting analytics. You can see the type of companies that people are watching. Now you can't tell exactly who saw it by person, but you can see more or less what type of position they hold in their companies, what area they're in, whether the article was found in Facebook and traced back into LinkedIn, or they went straight from linkedin.com. All this stuff could be useful. Of course, at the end of each article, you should have, let me open the article again. You should have some sort of phone number or email saying, hey, call me if you got questions, which in this case, I don't. So those 45 people that saw that, I couldn't turn them into a customer because nowhere here I put, call me if you have questions about late filing. So I probably should do that. Let me just edit the article here real quick, and I'm going to put that in there. Just saying, with this video, okay, perfect. I can say, if you got questions about filing extensions or late filing penalties, call us at. See, even I make mistakes, like creating a whole article that has no call to action whatsoever. So I definitely should have some sort of call to action in there. I mean, that's 45 people that saw the article. If there was one potential client in there, that's worth writing the article. So that's a really important piece, right? And then I can leave the rest of the article alone. So that's kind of like one of the things that I like about LinkedIn is you get really nice insights about who reads your articles. And I find that LinkedIn articles I've had people connect with me after they read an article wanting to have a discussion or maybe more questions. I probably have had 2 or 3 clients come from LinkedIn in the past year or so, but maybe 20 or 30 contacts. So it does take a while. The statistics are not there where every time somebody contacts you from LinkedIn, they want to be your client. A lot of times it's spam or them trying to sell you something. But it is a numbers game. So the more you're at it, the more possibilities you are to getting a client. So that's LinkedIn. Now, one of the things I wanted to tell you is for job posting, that LinkedIn has a whole section for job posting, and it is a lot of times it is more effective than uh, monster.com and career builder, because you can really hyper target people that work in specific companies, right? So that's a nice thing about posting a job in here. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but you can it will actually help you find people based on their position that they have, and 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 allow you to choose what job functions they're closely associated with this job that we're looking for. And it's a really really cool thing because you can also target within your contacts group. So if you're trying to attract talent, and from the people that have followed you, once they apply, you have access to the LinkedIn profile, so you can kind of get to know who they are when they apply. And a lot of these people don't even have to send you the resume. All they have to do is say, this is who I am, and you read it on LinkedIn, and that would be a lot easier and faster than sorting through resumes. So that's a really cool thing about LinkedIn. Probably one of the things that I found most valuable is using LinkedIn for talent and recruiting. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go into one of the groups here. And where is it that I go to groups? They change all these things here on me. Where is my group section? Groups, there we go. So I'm going to show you one group that I belong to that is pretty amazing. It's called Successful Quickbooks Consultants. Now, this is not my group. This is a group that was started by someone else, but it already has 165,000 members. So if you really want to get kind of like your word out there on these groups, you can find them fairly quickly. Now, look at this person. This person's basically just advertising on this group. That may not be that effective, so I'm actually going to report this to the group owner so they know that they are that they're advertising there. But what's nice about the groups is you can, yeah, again, this person is advertising as well. It's one of the bad things about these groups. So, but what's nice about it in some cases is you can engage into conversations, and if you can help someone, maybe they can hire you to solve that solution, whatever it happens to be. In this particular case, most of these are other accountants, so I really don't have much to sell to other accountants anyway. So this group is really more for people helping each other out. But there are groups for a lot of things. There are groups for common interest, not necessarily uh, other colleagues doing the same type of work that you do. So that's another thing to consider. Start a group, get people to follow it, help people, and that's how you get your word out there. And the last one I'll talk is YouTube. Now, there isn't enough time to cover YouTube, unfortunately, in a heavy detail. So I'm going to cover the really important high points. So let me go into YouTube here. And I also have to make the assumption that you already created your own channel, that you have a Google account, all of that stuff, and you're at this page here where you have maybe no videos. So the first thing you want to do is obviously record a video and upload it. So we just click on the upload button up here, and I'm going to I'm going to go to select videos to upload, and that's going to pop up a screen telling me, well, where is the video? And I can pick, whatever video I have. Like, for example, I got this video here called Creating Financial Statements. I'm going to go to open. Okay, a couple of really important things while the video uploads. Title is the single most important thing. So you have to make sure that the title matches what is it that you want people to search, right? Something like this, a really long title, may not work that well. So we do something like financial statements in QuickBooks, or maybe how to, right? How to create financial statements in QuickBooks, whatever it happens to be. Then on the description, you want to make sure that you also don't duplicate the description, but you can say tutorial that helps you get started with QuickBooks financial reports. If you have custom reporting needs, call me at 954-414, whatever your number is, right? 1524. Perfect. Okay. So you may want to have a little bit more description in there than just that, but that's just doing that for the example. Then here you can choose public or unlisted. So you would do unlisted if you're gonna publish this video only through like maybe a Facebook link or through your blog. But if you want it to be searchable, you have to make it public. Now, playlists, like if you are creating videos that have a common thread, like for example, let me see, I think a um, I have a video on reports. So let's say this one called report consolidations. I'm going to put it part of that playlist because people not only search videos, sometimes they search playlists themselves. Now the tags are really important. You want to have things like QuickBooks reports or financial statements, and Google uses or YouTube uses a combination of your title, your description, and your tags to do a search. You want to have a lot of tags here, but you don't want to clutter all that stuff with tags. Now, on the translation, that's only if you upload um, a translated language file so people can watch it in other languages. Monetization is what I talked about earlier, which if I flip this on, um, ads show up on the video, and typically it's not that much money. Like I make maybe 1 cent per 1,000 clicks on my videos. So I mean, you have to really go viral and be in the hundreds of thousands to see some real money. So that's what monetize with ads is. And on advanced settings, it's important that you give it a category. already have a default category in there. But give it a category. Make sure you tag it as an English video. Give it a recording date, so you timestamp the video itself. You can choose whether or not you want people to be able to see the number of views or the number of likes. That's something that you can choose, and then you can click publish, and that basically puts the video live. I'm just going to go ahead and just go straight into that link. And there's my video. At the beginning, when you first upload, it'll take 20, 30 minutes for YouTube to approve it. So you're kind of gonna see a black screen like that. Oh, there you go. That was pretty fast. My channel has been approved already. So my stuff publishes pretty fast. But for most people, it will take a little bit of a while for that stuff to come in. But what you always want to do, definitely you want to hit like on your own video. That's important, that at least get the likes process started. And then on the comment section, you can start commenting saying, I know it's hard to create reports in QuickBooks. So if you get stuck, I am available for private tutoring, whatever it is, right? So I'm not sure that whatever industry you're in, if you're watching this type of stuff makes sense, because you don't really need to offer tutoring if you sell products, but you can say stuff like, hey, message me if you want more information about the product, whatever it happens to be. But what I really like about YouTube is its searchability. So I'm going to go into Google here, and I'm going to put here import Excel transactions into QuickBooks. So I'm doing just a regular Google search, but I want to show you that as part of the Google search, YouTube pages show up. Now, this happens to not be my video, so I'm not very happy about that, but just let you know, YouTube pages, so I can click on that, and that will take from Google, go straight into YouTube. Now, this lady, Trust Bernadette, whoever she is, she has this video that has 99,000 views, not a lot of, some likes, mostly dislikes. I mean, more likes than dislikes. And she does have some call to action here. So I'm pretty sure that people have clicked on these links and they've gone to the website, and she's probably gotten some business out of it, especially because there are some comments here and people talking about, or asking questions about it, and just engaging into conversation in itself, as you can tell. Now, I took it upon myself to post saying, oh, this is a great video. Let me show you another one about bank data import. I basically inserted myself in there, promoting my own video, possibly taking some business away from her, who knows. But then I got, this video already has 79,000 views now. So I'm sure that some of the links from people clicking on her video and going to mine has helped boost my views as well. Now you see, I don't have a call to action here per se. I do have a call to action. I have a link here that goes into a shopping cart where people can buy QuickBooks, because I happen to sell QuickBooks as well. And I probably sold about 3, but it all plays into this narrative of being a subject matter expert. I mean, the idea is that if somebody just goes into YouTube, I'm going to log out for a second here. I'm going to log out completely, sign out. And somebody just goes straight into YouTube and they put how to use QuickBooks. The idea, one of the goals that I want is that when people search that, and I'm signed out, so it doesn't know it's me, that one of my videos shows up as relevant. This is what I do. I teach people QuickBooks. I consult with QuickBooks. So it's important that if someone's out there searching how to use QuickBooks, that my videos show up. So on the first page, there's one, and then there is another one. So there's a couple of videos here that are showing up. But the secrets behind getting views is you want to get likes. Like, likes drive relevancy. The way YouTube helps you drive traffic into your YouTube channel is through likes. But the other one is not just likes, it's also comments. If you are getting comments and people are hitting like, YouTube sees your video as more relevant. But most important, you want to see not just single comments, you want threaded comments. So for example, this person here started a comment here, and the idea is that you do reply to it of some sort. So you have to be kind of on top of it. And I can put here something like, uh, whoops, I would have to log in to comment. But the idea is that you watch the comments and reply to them. I know this takes a very long time, and you may be thinking, wow, I mean, this is going to be a lot of work to post videos and interact with people through YouTube. But I'm telling you, I mean, from at least from my perspective, I've had a lot of success. Look at, I got this video already has 3 views. Now, I thought I was supposed to make this video. I didn't want to make this video public. Whoops. This is just me playing around. So I'm going to go ahead and unlist this video and click save. But just to show you, see how quickly already got 3 views. Now, the reason why they get views so fast is because people subscribe to the channel. So that's another really important element of video making, is that you want to have videos that people from that video hit like, start comments, and also subscribe to your channel. So that's what you're going to see a lot of people that they finish their video by saying, if you like the video, hit like. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, add some comments below. Or people say, I'd love to know what you think about this, or would love to continue the conversation. Those are all techniques with the purpose of getting more views. Anyway, that's as much as I wanted to cover. I mean, that's a whole hour flew by super fast. We're not going to have a session in June. We're going to come back on July 17th and then go into the platforms that we didn't cover. So we'll do some Google AdWords and talk about how that works. We'll talk about blogging or using your website as a blog, Twitter, and then cross promoting content or repurposing content with other websites. I won't cover Instagram because that's not my area of expertise, but I will cover the stuff that's shown in here. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you learned something.